I just squashed potentially, hopefully, the biggest saboteur to my journey to scratch. I caught myself red fucking handed, getting in my own way, sabotaging my success and derailing myself from what I truly want. And I want to tell you all about it because I know there will be an immense amount of relatability in the story and examples I share. It's no secret. The Scratch Golfer's Mindset podcast has an underlying agenda, and that's to share my journey to scratch. As somebody who was a fairly avid golfer in middle school and the first few years of high school, roughly a bogey golfer, if you call it that, with a handful of mulligans, of course. Didn't touch clubs for at least 16 years and has just gotten back into things since April 2024. It's an exciting opportunity, a challenge that I am thoroughly in love with. A challenge that is teaching me so much about myself, the learning process, and allowing me to apply in real time what I am learning, what I am coaching and teaching on. And I just caught myself, potentially derailing the vast majority of the progress I would have made in 2026. In August of 2025, it is now December 1st as I record this. In August, I overheard a friend in one of my networking groups on the fence about committing to running a 75-mile race. And the context here is I've done multiple ultra endurance events. I've done a 75-hour endurance events, a couple ultra marathons, 30-miler, 40-miler, and I've done a 50-miler. And just seeing the internal struggle he was going through as he was talking through it out loud with one of our mutual friends, I was like, what are you struggling about? What's going on here? And on a whim, I told him, show me the race. What are you doing? I'll do it with you. And I committed there on the spot. He emailed me the link and I signed up that day. And fortunately, he ended up signing up. It took him a couple of weeks. Shout out, Jake. And this is so funny because little did I know, I didn't know him too well at the time. He's got a military background. The dude's a worker. He's already been putting in 30, 40-mile weeks. The dude's going to crush the race. I didn't know this at the time. Candidly, I thought he was being a little bit of a bitch about it. I was like, dude, let's do it. Stop talking about it. Be about it. And in my mind, a couple of years ago, I trained for 6 weeks to run the 50-mile race. I kind of put together in my mind, I would give myself 12 weeks to run this 75-mile race. It takes place in March 6th, 2026. So I figured, turn the calendar, December 1st, I'll start a 12-week running program. I'll be fine. I don't run. I'm not a runner. I just need miles on my feet. And the reason I was drawn to this event in doing this with him was twofold. Number one, every ultra endurance event I had done in the past taught me an immense amount about myself. Incredibly challenging, but so fruitful in the learning lessons and just the level of confidence that is raised and gained through completion of an experience like that, unfathomable, absolutely incredible. Second, you have to remember too, at that time, I was very much in the thick of an incredibly taxing, draining, challenging separation from my son's mom. And many aspects of my life felt out of control. Well, the type A OCD in me was desperately seeking and searching for anything I could grasp onto to have some semblance of control. Run 75 miles. That is easy. It's so simple to control that. I can put together a training plan and I can just show up and run. Running is incredibly simple. Running these ultra endurance events, very simple. Now, simple, not the same as easy. Let me be very clear. But simplistically, you just do it. You just run. You just keep moving. And yes, you walk. You can do strategies. My strategy would be eventually I'd get to a point where I would run for 8 minutes, walk for 4, and I'd modulate that in between. But what I'm getting at here is I was continuing with my inconsistent golf practice, consistent gym workouts, inconsistent actual rounds of golf from, June, July, August, September, October, and through to November. I'm going through this separation. I am adapting to a new structure with my son, finding a nanny, all these things while trying to work and grow my business and over deliver for my clients. So I keep kind of pushing off the running, kind of start having a feeling like, might need a little longer than 12 weeks. 75 miles, it is no joke. Let me give it a little more respect than being this arrogant, cocky individual who's done a 50 miler before and kind of writing off a 75 mile run. So I decide in November I'm going to start training. Well, the universe tells me, not so fast. Sick as can be late October into November, if you remember, during my member guest. Flight champion, though. Phenomenal experience. Shout out Aaron, my playing partner and guest. But inevitably, I get 3 weeks of running under my belt in November. And today, December 1st, just crushed 9 miles yesterday, 79 minutes, under 9 minute per mile pace. Perfect. That's cruise control. But the last few weeks, I've been journaling, really the last couple of months, I've been journaling every day. What do you want, Paul? What do you want? And almost every single time, it's been, I want to get my handicap to 0.0. To be candid, there are so many opportunities and doors that open when my handicap is 0.0. More importantly, the process has so many learning lessons and opportunities for personal growth baked into it. I'm all in. I love it. I'm here for it. So why the fuck am I running 75 miles? This would be the timeline if I were to fully commit to running 75 miles. I've got a perfect plan drawn up. #thank you ChatGPT that has me running anywhere from 4 to 5 times a week. And right now, this week, I can tell you, I'm supposed to run 5 miles, 6 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles. That's a lot of fucking time running that could be spent putting, chipping, short course, driving range, or on the golf course. And if I were to continue at this pace, what I mapped out and built was a 16-week training plan. 4 to 5 runs per week. I've got 3 lifting workouts per week that are very golf specific as well as injury prevention specific. Shout out Sean for putting that together for me. This running would only gradually take more and more of my time, deplete more and more of my energy as December comes and goes, January comes and goes, February comes and goes. That's 3 solid fucking months to make immense progress in my golf game. And then March 6th, the race is here. Candidly, it's going to take me 3 to 5 days to recover to want to get back out on the golf course, I imagine. The feet, the ankles, the knees, the muscles, the joints, everything is going to ache and be sore. And now all of a sudden, December, January, February, and at least half of March are gone with very minimal golf-specific work. And candidly, some of that golf work would probably not be the highest of quality because I would be an escape. I'd be so excited to be there. I would probably rush, not be focused, not be as intentional as I should be. And I'd be fucking tired. All that running. Man, running is tiring. I mean, maybe it's because I don't run typically, but it wears you down. So now I am 3-4 months in the hole. I have the utmost faith my handicap would not have changed, if not regressed during that time. And I would spend the next 3 months playing catch up, probably being prone to some overcompensation, risking some type of physical, psychological, or emotional burnout, frustration, impatience taking over. And now it's April, May, June, and I'm just pissed off. So it begs the question, why the fuck am I running 75 miles? Why did I commit to this? Well, I told you my why at the time. Well, Paul, okay, cool. Just don't do it. Well, therein lies another list of excuses and justifications I have to navigate through. Oh, I don't want to let my friend down. Oh, I already paid for and committed. It's like $90. Oh, I already rented the RV place and blocked off my calendar. Okay, undo that. Ask for the refund. Well, I made a commitment And I don't want to back out. I want to be a man of my word. In fact, I made that commitment on my podcast. Thousands of people know I made this commitment. Big fucking deal. Who cares what they think? Well, I actually kind of really want to do it. I like these events. They've proven fruitful. They're excellent teachers. Yeah, okay, cool. But are you committed or just interested to getting your handicap to scratch, dude? Like, quit playing the game. Are you in or are you out? Because candidly, 2025 has been perhaps the most challenging year to date in my personal life. Also, one of the most rewarding years. It is proven to have provided innumerable unexpected obstacles and time restraints that have not allowed me to come even remotely close on my rounds per year goal and my practice sessions per year or per week goal that I set out originally in January 2025. So it has definitely had a direct and indirect impact on my ability to drop my handicap as quickly as I wanted. So why are you running 75 miles, dude? Yeah, and this is where my brain, my heart, my mind have been the past month plus. And every day, like I told you, what do you want, Paul? What do you want, Paul? And it started to hit me like, why are you running 75 miles? Is this just an excuse? And duh, you knew 10 minutes ago, it's absolutely an excuse. It's a distraction from going all in. Yet it's a unique type of distraction. And that's what I want to really dive into today and help you bring awareness to where you might be guilty of what I'm calling noble avoidance. Noble avoidance is the subconscious strategy of choosing a worthy, productive, or impressive pursuit in order to avoid the deeper emotional discomfort required to pursue the goal you truly want. It's the pattern of hiding behind a noble alternative, one that others praise, one that looks like discipline, growth, or ambition, while silently abandoning the path that actually matters most to you. Whew, guilty. I mean, let's be honest, running 75 miles, especially if you don't run, I have an imagination. There's a part of you that thinks that's fucking stupid, crazy, idiotic. Why would you do that? Who does that? There's also a part of you deep under there that's like, okay, mad respect, especially if you have any running background. 75 miles is no fucking joke. A marathon, no joke. So it is a noteworthy pursuit. Not many people have done it, can do it, can relate to it. It's impressive. It commands respect in specific circles. It feels good. And on the surface, it looks like dedication. Yet underneath, noble avoidance is self-protection disguised as self-improvement. It feels responsible. It sounds admirable. It even appears productive, but it ultimately serves one purpose: to avoid facing the fear, vulnerability, pressure, expectations, and identity work required to fully commit to your true desire. In my case, I'm on a path to becoming a scratch golfer. And that requires no shortage of technical reps, skills, lessons. And also no shortage of emotional reps, patience, identity rewiring and upgrading, and facing the parts of myself that still carry some doubt, some fears, some second guessing and pressure. Running 75 miles, on the other hand, sure, it's undeniably hard. It's admirable. Yet it's also safer. It's not easier physically, but it's easier emotionally. Again, just run, just keep moving. That's it. And this description I just shared is the essence of noble avoidance. Again, noble avoidance is the subconscious strategy of choosing a worthy, productive, or impressive pursuit in order to avoid the deeper emotional discomfort required to pursue the goal you truly want. And most people fall victim to noble avoidance because of fear, and addiction. Yes, I said fear twice intentionally. Allow me to explain. First and foremost, fear of failure. What if I give everything, absolutely everything, and I still fall short? For me, I have no excuses. For a while, there was a part of me who I think blamed the lack of driving range and short course area at my home club, got absolutely demolished by the back-to-back hurricanes that hit Tampa last year. And literally, it took 12 months for them to finally make a decision, get the permits, and build. Beautiful driving range. Each bay has a shot tracer in there. And then a beautiful 2 green short course area, couple of bunkers. They already had a beautiful putting green and chipping area. I have no shortage of excuses. I've got the golf-specific fitness coach. I've got all the mindset work down. Clearly, there's always work to be done, which is why we're having this candid and vulnerable discussion. I've got the stuff at home to stretch, to train, the mobility plan. I'm very diligent and consistent on the meditation, the self-hypnosis. I can do the speed training. I can build my schedule with the utmost flexibility based on my needs and preferences. Here's me candidly admitting I'm all out of excuses. It's time to go. So what if I put together the perfect plan? More importantly, what if I execute relentlessly, nearly flawlessly, and I still come up short? Failure threatens identity. A noble pursuit gives you an out, a way to stay busy while avoiding the possibility of falling short in the area that matters most. And then, of course, there's the opposite side of the coin. There's fear of success. What if I actually become a scratch golfer? Shit, who am I? Success threatens the identity that I am so familiar with. Success requires expansion, responsibility, visibility, vulnerability. And if you've been listening for a while, you know vulnerability is slowly but surely becoming a superpower of mine. But choosing a different so-called noble goal, it keeps you safe inside your current emotional ceiling. You know, one of my favorite quotes I took from a mentor of mine is, to expand, you must expand. It's the same principle of you can't change unless you change. All of us talk about wanting to expand our skill set, our achievement, our results, our network, our net worth. But that requires expansion internally in our action, our beliefs, our attitude, our energy. To expand, you must expand. So there's fear of failure, fear of success, fear of emotional exposure. Let's be candid. Golf is a challenging, complex, beautiful game that teaches us so much about ourselves. And to achieve the goal of becoming scratch, not only are you in the top 1% of the world, you've got to face some dark, harsh, negative parts of yourself that you've been guilty of hiding from, avoiding, or repressing. It's going to force you to confront patterns of inconsistency, anger, frustration, embarrassment. It's going to force you to acknowledge and let go of old stories, beliefs, destructive patterns, such as patterns of comparison, doubt, judgment. Noble avoidance, on the other hand, specifically in this case, 75-mile run, going to be absolutely brutal, but it's emotionally cleaner. And that noble avoidance protects you from emotional discomfort. And I want you to just pause for a moment and simply reflect. Where are you guilty of noble avoidance right now? Number 4, there's a fear of being seen trying. Trying fully is one of the most vulnerable things a person can do. Because if people see you trying your absolute best at the thing you want most and you still fail, well, that has the potential to feel unbearable. So again, you choose a slightly different path, one that commands praise, respect, not one that's necessarily easy, but it's a path off of the true path that you are aligned with, that sings in your soul. And you choose a noble path where effort is praised, but your identity isn't on the line. It's not really a big deal. The consequences aren't as dire should you not succeed. And then I mentioned the word addiction earlier. You're addicted to safety, familiarity, comfort, predictability, and your subconscious continues to manufacture patterns that keep you in this state of familiarity. In fact, if you have experienced a failure or a loss before, we could even say like a hardship, and you've, and I use this word lightly, survived it, overcome it, managed, been okay afterwards. Well, you've proven to your subconscious it's no big deal. You've survived it once, you can survive it again. So your subconscious will continue to put yourself in similar patterns for the sake of maintaining predictability, familiarity, comfort, and safety. Simple example. You've struggled with credit card debt and you finally pay it off only to suddenly experience 2 to 3 major expenses creep in. And now suddenly you're 5 digits in credit card debt again. We can then take it into the weight loss world. You've got this pattern of losing and regaining the same 25 pounds. And finally, you've maintained weight loss for 6 months. And then the holidays, an injury, a loss in the family, and suddenly you're 40 pounds heavier. That's safe. I know it sounds irrational, but guess what? Your subconscious is irrational. So here's the hard truth. Noble avoidance is still avoidance. It's self-protection wrapped in productivity. It's ambition used as armor, and it's momentum pointed in the wrong direction. And until you name it, you continue to serve it. And naming it is the first step into breaking its hold over you. So I'm going to share a few examples of where noble avoidance might be showing up in your life and pose a few questions after to help you get clarity around where, if, and how it's showing up so you can take back the steering wheel of your life and resume the path you originally intended to go. So 10 examples here. These examples are entrepreneurial, professional, personal, and golf related. So number 1, building new systems instead of fixing the real problem. I was so guilty of this in my business for the longest time. This is creating new SOPs, lead trackers, dashboards, color-coded workflows, instead of just having the uncomfortable sales conversations or fixing the bottleneck that's actually costing money. Starting a new project to avoid finishing the important one. You've heard me label this as shiny object syndrome. It's launching a new podcast, new marketing initiative, new course, because finishing the real project, maybe it's a brand revamp, a book, demands vulnerability and public accountability. It's taking every meeting to avoid doing the deep work. It's saying yes to all the Zoom calls, the networking calls, the coffee chats because they feel productive. Oh, you're so selfless. You're giving your time to everybody. But it puts you in a position to have an excuse to avoid the emotionally taxing work that actually moves the needle. It's pursuing fitness challenges, guilty, to avoid business challenges, because it creates structure and purpose while avoiding the emotional discomfort of addressing the struggle in your business, or in my case, on the golf course. Number 5, obsessively learning instead of executing. Oh, this is my favorite. It's so fucking rampant. Are you guilty of just consuming? You listen to every golf and golf mindset podcast. You've read all of the Rotella books. You've read all the business books, but you're making the same amount of money and your handicap fluctuates between the same 11 and 13 every year. Fucking take action. Stop consuming so much and take action. This is why I tell you every episode, take notes and re-listen to the episode and then apply what you're learning. Action, action, action. Knowledge is nothing without action. Number 6, fixing the brand instead of fixing the beliefs. Rebranding, building a new website. Damn, I can't tell you how many times I've rebuilt my fucking website over the years. Redesigning logos, updating funnels. Instead of doing the belief level work needed to change your behavior, raise your prices, sell more boldly, or to lead better. It's number 7, overcommitting to others to avoid your own priorities. And this can be the volunteering, the helping friends, mentoring, doing favors, being overly available. Because being needed, it feels good. It looks noble. And it also conveniently keeps you from your own neglected goals. Number 8, cleaning, organizing, optimizing everything. Rearranging your office, buying new tools, swing training aids, gadgets, labeling the garage, setting up new software. Sure, it's productive. Yet it's productive for the sake of being productive. And again, it's avoidance. Number 9, staying busy to avoid the big conversation. You immerse yourself in this grinding mentality. I'm grinding. I'm too busy for this, too busy for that. But you're failing to neglect the difficult conversation at home with your wife, with your kids, or maybe with your team. And number 10, choosing a goal that you can win instead of choosing a goal that matters. 75 miles, I can win that. Scratch, that one's a little more challenging to win, but it matters a hell of a lot more. So you pursue the challenge where you know you'll shine. Maybe it's a fitness challenge. Maybe it's a money challenge, a business growth challenge. Also, you can avoid the goal where you feel exposed. And maybe that's your marriage. It's your own deep inner healing, your leadership, your emotional work, or the real dream you're scared to chase. So many entrepreneurs of mine are just doing an incredible job, making more money, scaling their businesses. But what they really want to do is spend more time with their wives, their husbands, their kids, write a book, step back. But they're so scared to do it because their identity is entrenched in their business success that it feels so foreign, scary, and threatening to do anything else but that. So there are some examples. And I'm hopeful that this conversation has created a safe space for you to look inward and call yourself out on where you are guilty of noble avoidance. And one of the best ways to determine if you're truly committed to your goal is to pull up your calendar. If we take golf for an example, are there practice sessions and rounds, speed work, gym workouts on your calendar? And are they being executed? Are they being completed? So let's ask a couple more questions and we'll get you out of here. I think, and I'm just looking at my list of questions, there's so many here. I want to give you a few that I wrote down that I think will be most impactful for you. If nothing changes over the next 12 months, which unlived goal would eat away at you the most? And what noble excuse would you blame instead of yourself? Number 2, what goal do you claim matters most, yet consistently gets the least of your focus, time, energy, and emotional bandwidth? Number 3, what positive or productive pursuit are you using as a socially acceptable distraction from the work you actually need to do? Number 4, where do you tell yourself you're not ready yet? And what goal would you have to fully step into if you admitted you are actually ready? And number 5, I really like this one. What would happen to your self-belief if you gave your true goal the same consistency, intensity, and reverence you gave your noble distraction? And here are 2 underlying takeaways from this conversation. Less is more. Can't do it all. You can't excel in everything. Less is more. And number 2, be boring. And what I mean by that in this case is it feels and sounds exciting to talk about running 75 miles. It's not as exciting to talk about doing 2 to 3 speed sessions a week, 2 to 3 range sessions, 5 putting sessions, 4 workouts per week. It's boring over and over and over. Guess what? Success is built upon the same boring principles executed relentlessly over and over and over and over. I thank you so much for listening to today's conversation. It was so enlightening for me to call out my own bullshit, my excuses. And through this process, have to really get clear on why I was doing what I was doing so that I could best articulate it to you. And it's given me immense clarity, energy, freedom, and power to right the ship, get back on track, and to make sure my handicap goes low, low, low in 2026 and beyond. If you found value in today's episode, share it with a friend, a fellow colleague, golfer. Drop an honest rating review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to today's show. Most importantly, take action. Quit the bullshit, get out of your own way, and go after your goal. Be all in. And take advantage these next few months to separate yourself from your competition in the previous version of you. Make today great, and I'll catch you in Thursday's episode.